Alrighty, what is going on? Today we are diving into the secrets of YouTube. More specifically, I'm going to be showing you what the biggest names in the space, Alex Mosey, Alex Becker, some of the people you look up to, what they're doing to convert, number one, more sales, number two, garner more trust, because now we are in a trust recession, and ultimately how they are pivoting to use new tactics and ways to further one, their reach, and then two, again, garner more trust within their audience. So let's get into it. So a lot of the people you look up to are using a bit of a strategy. Now this strategy requires a few videos, and we'll be going through this entire system. If you're a beginner, this is going to work for you. If you're advanced, these new tactics and maybe just a new perspective on how to utilize YouTube is going to be very, very helpful. So what they're essentially doing is, obviously you have top of funnel, middle funnel, and bottom of funnel content. And if you're not utilizing that, and if you don't know what that is, there's a lot of videos on that information. But kind of broadly speaking, top of funnel is your high TAM, so your total addressable market. These videos tend to be broad. They are story driven most of the time, just broad concepts that open up the funnel, right? So that's your top of funnel. Your middle funnel is more how-tos, more individualized, and then obviously you have your bottom of funnel, which is mostly your case studies and just some other nuanced things that your audience will eventually have as they start diving deeper into your niche. But what they're really doing is they will have videos. Now, Ebon really popularized this. He made it known. He made a lot of money off of this. So what they're doing, use my pen here. So they'll have video A, and this is when we have angle 1. Now, obviously, the target demographic or your audience, your avatar, they're very, they're not just they have a lot of characteristics. So there's a lot of different angles within your avatar. So they may, if it's fitness, for instance, fitness is kind of the easiest. If it's fitness, they're into outdoors possibly, right? Because they can walk outdoors, they can go bicycling, they can go walking. They could be obviously into nutrition because their diet. So there's various aspects of your avatar. Maybe they're more personable, or maybe they're not. Whatever the case may be, your avatar is very nuanced. So what you want to do is, these angles here, you want to have separate videos that address these angles. Because ultimately, you want to target the whole, but in doing so, you're going to have certain angles. So for instance, I know that sounds a little complex, so let's actually just dive into this. So video number 1 could be a high TAM. If it's fitness, it's going to be the story of how I lost 50 pounds, or something that's currently going on at that time. That could be video number 1. The how-tos could be obviously how to work out, how to work out from home, these other angles or other characteristics that your avatar has. And then video number 3 could be something, again, case studies that build the trust. Okay, and we're going to go through some notes. Just hang on here. But what they are doing, so this is kind of the most important part, is that you're going to have these specific videos. Now, the way I look at this is either it's like a party or it's like a tree trunk. Okay, so you have your tree stump here. Okay, so you have your tree trunk, and then these videos branch off. And what you're trying to do is that these branches will lead the viewer back to the so-called hidden VSL. So in sales, or whatever the case may be, you're always trying to hide the process of selling, right? Because no one likes to be sold, okay? Now, the more aware the market is, okay, now hear me out, there's a bit of a nuance here. The more aware the market is, the less hiding you have to do. So right now, BizOp, if I try to sell you something, there's a lot of resistance because you've been sold at before. So instead, I take the contrast, which is just blatantly saying it. Hey, I'm going to be selling you this thing, or I know I'm supposed to do this common thing, like sell you X, Y, and Z, and say X, Y, and Z. Instead, I'm not. Instead, here's just the offer. But you're always trying to, and funny enough, by doing that, you're actually hiding the process. So you're always trying to hide the sales process. And whether that's through Facebook communities, whether that's through Discord chats, whether that's through whatever your mechanism is, you are inherently trying to hide the process so it feels novel, right? The feeling of novelty, and they go, oh, this is new, I bought it, but that's the sales process. So a hidden VSL is essentially just a modern day VSL, but since the market is so aware these days, it doesn't really sound like a VSL. Okay? And the way they're doing that is that they're going to create the tree trunk, and then they're going to have top of funnel content, right, to these broad appeal videos, and then they're going to, in the bottom or wherever, they're even going to call to it in the video, it's going to lead to this hidden VSL, right? And then they're going to have middle funnel content. It's going to be angle number 2 or characteristic number 2 of your avatar that's going to resonate with them, and then ultimately that branch is going to lead back to the tree. Okay? That's how you are going to do it, right? So just imagine you have all these viewers. Just imagine you have all these viewers trickling through, right? And they're just trickling down. Okay? That's what you want to do. And usually, too, sometimes this is a course. Nowadays, again, you're hiding the sales process. This does look like in the form of a master course or master class, where it's this hour-long course for free, and then eventually 25% into the video, you are then calling for CTAs to join my whatever. So again, you're hiding the sales process through that course. And again, if you've been through that, you feel like it's new. You're like, oh my goodness, wow, it's a 6-hour course. Yet, what they're trying to do is just sell you, right? And the way you're going to do that is just create a content, right? So let's get into the notes here. I think this will be very beneficial. So number 1, let's just talk broadly. Number 1, let's just talk broadly about thumbnails. So your thumbnail is your 80-20 of the entire YouTube process. Ultimately, right, if you had 8 hours to take a tree down, you'd spend 7 of those sharpening the axe, right? So 80-20 is obviously the thumbnail. If they are not clicking, you could have the greatest offer. You could have the greatest advice, knowledge. You could say you're going to win $1 million in the video. But if no one clicks, then it's useless, right? So following Mr. Beast's advice, he spends hundreds of thousands on thumbnails alone just to get the click, okay? Now, piece of advice, you don't want to clickbait, but you want to be as close to clickbaiting as possible, but also telling the truth. So you're walking this fine line where, yes, you are somewhat clickbaiting, but it's true as well. So again, you have to evoke that curiosity. You have to evoke intrigue, thumb stopping, scroll kind of thing. And again, you want to spend majority of the time on the thumbnail. When I do not listen to this rule, the content is phenomenal and it's a great piece of video, yet no one is clicking. So then we have to iterate. So what I want you to do is when you are, coming up with your idea of the video, I want you to first think thumbnail. Okay? Just like classic advertising, your headline matters most. Okay? I believe Ogilvy said, right, if you had $1 on advertising, 80 cents would go to the headline. Okay? You've already spent 80 cents of your dollar through the headline because it's that important. And again, here, you want to iterate. So even if so what I like to do when I'm putting out videos for my clients, I like to have 3 per video. Now, depending on, obviously, finances and how much budget they have allocated towards the YouTube system, you can make more or you can make less, okay? But I like to have 3, okay? And when you're doing that, usually 2 are very drastic, like very very different. And then 1, depending on what the data says, I will then maybe go back to the thumbnail designer and say, hey, can we make something like this? Okay, so Usually they are polar opposites, just because I want to test very different things if I am constrained with budget. But just remember, iterate, iterate, iterate. So let's keep going. Again, awareness stages dictate thumbnail. So this is the big one as well. I see a lot of beginners make this mistake: is the thumbnail does not equal the title. So again, it's like classic advertising. If I had a banner, I don't want the same writing on the banner that I have on the title. Okay, so you have specific real estate for your thumbnail. I want those to be different from your title. So if my title is how to lose 50 pounds, I don't want my thumbnail to also say how to lose 50 pounds, right? I want them to be contrasting, but I want them to be aligned as well. So again, if we're talking about diet, the title could be, here is how, 3 ways I lost 50 pounds. And then the thumbnail could be, carbs are a lie, or no carbs needed, right? Whatever the case may be, they're different, but there's alignment there. And if I see the no carbs needed, okay, interesting. Again, that invokes curiosity, and then the title will say, "Oh my goodness, this led to," basically saying this led to a loss of 50 pounds. So I don't want them the same. I want them aligned, but again, they're feeding off each other. Okay, it's super important you get that down. All right, let's just talk broadly about scripting. Scripting is super important. Again, 80/20, your intro is probably the most important. I'm not going to go into that right now, but just broadly speaking, you have a few buyers, different type of buyers or even viewers. Okay, so you have automatic people. Those are the people that and I got this from Alan Soltanic, where basically you have these 4 different types of people. And so you have automatic people, which are just instantly buyers, right? Like 2 to 3% of the market will instantly buy. Then you have repetition people who basically need to hear your theme or your thesis to the market multiple times, right? And it's different from duration, because duration just needs to spend more time with you. But repetition, usually if there's contrasting views within the market, they need to keep hearing your thesis, your stance, your contrarian belief many times, and that helps them actually change their belief into believing you. And then from there, you can start the customer journey or the buying journey. Duration is actually just spending more time. So the more time you spend with me, the more time you're going to want to, you're going to be indoctrinated into my beliefs, X, Y, and Z, aka you'll eventually buy from me, okay? And then there's just never people. Obviously, there's people that are just never going to buy, right? That's how the market works. So you want to tailor your scripting, you want to tailor your videos to these type of people, okay? And again, your scripting is dictated by the market awareness. If it's a completely new market that has never, ever been touched before, yes, you can put in some quite fancy stuff like they did in when they were doing classic direct response marketing, right? Not black hat, but gray hat potentially. And that stuff sells. But if you try those same tactics, again, the market is aware of those tactics. There's just a tremendous amount of resistance. They won't believe it, all right, or they won't buy it. So you have to be, one, scripting towards these types of people, or you can even make specific videos on these types of people. And then just ultimately, stages awareness is super important. Know where they are at what stage in the funnel. So the ultimate goal here, and I got this from Alan Soltanic again, the ultimate goal is to remove fear. And what do I mean by that? Fear is the unknown. So what we're trying to do is ultimately remove fear of the unknown. So for instance, automatic people, the fear is they just need a few questions answered and then they're going to buy, right? Or they see the photo and then they're going to buy, repetition people, you're trying to remove the fear of them believing certain things, right? Or finding more of the truth, right? Because again, repetition individuals, usually they're in markets that have very contrasting beliefs. And so they need to spend more time with you so that they remove the fear and they find more of the truth. Okay, whether you're the truth or not doesn't really matter, but you're trying to move the unknown. In every sales process, you're trying to remove the unknown, and that's what your videos are going to do. Your videos are removing the unknown so that you have more of the truth, and hopefully your stuff is very truthful and it's accurate, right? And the way we can do this as well is through storytelling. So storytelling is very, very impactful. That's why, for instance, if you watch Tai Lopez's stuff, Tai Lopez is always telling a story like every second of every minute, right? It is actually insane how many stories he has. And the reason he is telling stories, because stories help move the viewer through change. And ultimately, what you're trying to do with someone is I'm trying to take my beliefs, put them on you, and I'm trying to help you change. So when Ty's telling his stories, he's moving me through change. And inherently, again, no one likes being told what to do, but through the story, me and you can actually listen together, right? We can listen together about the story, and then through that, we can actually enforce change. So it's very, very impactful. This helps change beliefs. This helps you go down the buying behavior, X, Y, and Z. So whenever you can, start telling stories. They're very impactful, and you can sprinkle them in through your content. And I would hope you do so because they're just that impactful. Now, some new tactics here. If you listen to Hormozi or anybody, they are starting to do a lot of live streaming. Now, live streaming has taken off. Twitch, for instance, has drastically changed from just a gaming platform to now live streaming. Live streaming is becoming the next thing. Why? Because if you look at it, it's a lot of this. It's a lot of this, aka it's a lot of consumption. So the more I am live, the more you get to know me, and there's no, again, market awareness. Everyone is aware that these videos are all scripted. So if now I'm live, it's not scripted. You just get to know the raw me, and you can actually see me. It's like basically seeing a lion in the wild rather than at the zoo. You know it's fake. You're not going to believe it. But if you're if you see the lion in the wild, you start to believe it. So live streaming basically connotes that. It's the raw reality of what is going on, aka you want to consume more because it is a little different right now. And so everybody, and you will see this in the coming months, everyone will be starting to live stream. Okay, because it's very, very impactful because of these things I have illustrated. So with that being said, just kind of to summarize this, you want to create top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, whether you like those categories or not, or that type of model, whatever. Just create some high TAM, broad appeal videos, create some how-tos that are very beneficial for your audience, create case studies so that they can believe, trust you, and then funnel those via description and call-outs within the video to your hidden VSL, your free course, whatever it may be, and then obviously funnel them in. Thumbnails, 80-20, put most of your attention on the thumbnail. Your awareness stages dictate how to go about that. So for instance, in BizOp right now, it's not even that you really need thumbnail. Some people are still doing that, which is fine, but rather you're seeing a lot of Loom thumbnails because it's different, and it still invokes curiosity, which is perfect. The real estate on the thumbnail should not equal your title. Scripting, know who you're scripting for, know who you're scripting about. Who are these people? Are they helpless, hopeless, worthless, X, Y, and Z, and ultimately here to remove fear. Okay, you're going to do that by storytelling and by consumption, and I would consider start live streaming because that is as raw as it's going to get currently. So that's kind of that. Put this into play, and that should be very beneficial, and then iterate upon the data that you get from these videos. Take care, and we'll see you in the next one.